In the small, quaint town of Maplewood, autumn was always a season of beauty and change. Nestled in a valley surrounded by dense forests, the town was renowned for its spectacular fall foliage. Every year, the leaves would transform into a kaleidoscope of reds, oranges, and yellows, drawing visitors from far and wide. But there was one particular tree that stood out amongst the rest, the ancient oak in the center of the town square. The oak tree was believed to be over 2 centuries old, and its leaves were the last to change color and fall. It was a tradition in Maplewood to celebrate the falling of the last leaf of autumn. The event was symbolic, marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter's quiet embrace. This year, the anticipation was greater than ever. The townsfolk whispered of an early winter, and the oak tree's leaves had turned a deeper shade of crimson than anyone could remember. Among those eagerly awaiting the event was young Eliza, an 8-year-old girl with a heart full of curiosity and wonder. Eliza had always been enchanted by the oak tree and its magical aura. She would spend hours beneath its sprawling branches, imagining the stories it could tell. As the days grew shorter and colder, Eliza's excitement grew. Her grandmother, Mrs. Hensley, shared stories of the tree's history, adding to the young girl's fascination. "They say the tree holds the spirit of the forest," Mrs. Hensley told Eliza one crisp evening, "and that the last leaf of autumn carries a wish to the wind." Eliza's eyes sparkled with delight. She decided that this year, she would make a wish on the last leaf. Each day after school, she would run to the town square, watching as the oak gradually shed its leaves. As the pile of fallen leaves grew, so did her hope. One frosty morning, Eliza woke to find the world outside covered in a thin layer of white. Winter had arrived early, and the oak tree stood proudly with just one leaf remaining. She quickly bundled up in her warmest clothes and dashed to the town square, her breath visible in the chilly air. The townspeople gathered, drawn by the spectacle of the lone crimson leaf clinging to the oak. They watched in hushed anticipation as a gentle breeze began to stir. Eliza stood at the front, her heart pounding with excitement. She closed her eyes and made her wish. "I wish for happiness and good health for everyone in Maplewood." At that moment, the wind picked up, swirling around the ancient oak. The last leaf trembled, danced, and finally let go, carried high into the sky by the breeze. The crowd cheered, and Eliza felt a warmth in her heart, believing her wish had been taken by the wind. As the townsfolk celebrated, Eliza's grandmother knelt beside her, smiling. "Your wish was beautiful, my dear," she said softly, "and the oak tree will hold it close until next autumn." With the last leaf of autumn now gone, Maplewood settled into the tranquility of winter. The ancient oak stood bare but majestic, a silent guardian over the town. And Eliza, with her heart full of hope, knew that the magic of the last leaf would return again, bringing with it the promise of another season of change and wonder.